Hi, welcome to my podcast, The Happy Hacker with Ambition. Today is Friday and you join me as I've just tacked up Indy Pony, or the little ginger-eared pony. So I'm just trying to sort out under her bridle, her headband, as we are going to do a little bit of lunging. So, as you know, we had the bucking bronco pony. She's been going really quite sweetly in the school. And Laura said to me, fancy coming out for a quick hack? And I went, oh yeah, that would be nice. Didn't think, I'd just got Eek ready. So I was just taking Eek out. And, oh, we're still joined. Oh dear me. Well done, little pony. That was really sensible. I left her joined up to her head collar as I walked off with the lunge line. Oh my God, what an amateur. This poor pony, I do feel so sorry for her. Anyway, I said, oh yeah, that would be great. And Laura went, well, carry on, go and take Eek out, because it was early in the morning. And she'd go and take her out. And what we'll do is when you come back, take Eek out for a quick little ride, and when you come back, come out with me. And I went, yeah, all right, yeah, I'll be all right now, I can go out on my own, she's all right. She went, just come with me anyway. Anyway, we had a little walk. What have you done to that bit? That bit is completely pulled through your... Straighten that up. Right, that's better. And she said, you know, just come with me, I'll be all right. So I took Eek out, we had a nice little walkie-trotty canter. And off we went. Go on. Trying to get her out. And then I came back and we rode Indy before I went off. And I went out with Spike. Good girl, it's a nice walk. And we went out with Spike and we had a little walk, and Spike was like, this is really boring. And Laura said, do you fancy a little trot? Keep going. Forward. Always forward. Always forward. Go on. And I went, yeah, let's have a little trot. Anyway, set off all right. And then Madam did a couple of bucking broncos, and Laura just said, just ignore it, hands down, ride through it, keep looking ahead where you want to go. And she ignored it and she carried on. So that was okay. So that was quite nice. And then forward. Go on. I mean it. Forward. Go on. You can hear, what I've got is a schooling whip. And obviously I'm just making the noise and getting Indy to go forward. So what we've decided to do, and then I went off and Laura said to me, just you go in front. Forward, forward, forward. You go off in front. And then Indy did it again. She just went, keep it together, keep it together. I have been carrying a schooling whip with me so that I had got a bit of a backup forward. Bit of a backup. I'm just not quick enough to go get on with it. So that wasn't great. So Laura took the whip away from me and then we carried on. And she was all right. So what the plan is, go on, forward. The plan is now is to lunge her. If she's got so much energy, Eek, you're in the flipping way. Oh, for God's sake. Is to lunge her. So what I'm actually doing, forward. That is quite a nice trot, Indy. And this is your bad side. Out of the way, girls. Oh, God. Go on, go on, go on. And I'm just lunging her in the field because she obviously isn't in the big field. I'm going to take her a bit further on the softer ground. This way. Don't run. Good girl. Good girl. Come on. Come on. Yeah, you're pulling the bit through on yourself, not me. Come on, let's take you further down. So I'm taking her and walking her. I was always taught that, you know, now she's going to do it. Good girl. Go on. Good girl. She's listening. Blueberry always reacts when I lunge a pony. And if she's out, which is why you can hear her, if she's out when we're lunging and you have a lunging whip with you, she tries to get hold of that. Go on, forward. Go on, go on. I mean it. Come on, this is all right for you. If you can bucking bronco, you can get over this. That's it. Good girl. Nicely done. Now she's cantering forward. Come on. Woohoo. Forward. Yeah. You're going to buck. Keep going forward. Go on, forward. She didn't like it. Good girl. If you buck, you go more. So that's what I'm trying to do. Getting her over it. That's better. Yeah. So forward. Always keeping yourself at the shoulder. She has, actually, she's listening. And walk. Walk. And stand. Whoa. Good girl. That's a good pony. What a good pony. So she stood beautifully and square out on the just going to put that on the outer of the circle. I'm just doing it so that she can feel the reins, but that she hasn't got too much contact. So now I'm going to change it so we go around the other way. So unclip it, pull it through the bit, take it out round the other side, clip it on, go through, turn the other side, over the top of the head, turn it round, down, clip it onto the bridle. So the idea of that is that you have always got the outside rein, which is, after all, always what you're trying to ride into with your legs. So the whip, the lunge whip that I'm using, becomes my other leg. So this is the rein that she always reacts on a lot more, and she thinks this is really easy. So we'll see what happens. The other day she was like cantering around like an idiot. Okay, are you ready? You don't turn in, you don't turn in, you don't turn in. So what she's done is she's turned in towards me quite defiantly with her ears back. So I'm now going to step back, keep out the way, get back to the shoulder, keep into the shoulder. Forward, make the pony go forward. And she is cantering like an idiot. Go on, no. So the answer to this is not to react to her, which is what Laura keeps telling me. Don't react. I don't care. I'm not bothered. You get that leg to me. Go on. Trot. So now I've got her going forward. Keep her. You keep to the shoulder. She's cantering at the moment, so we can let her do that. Get this energy out of her. Get her away from me. So I'm asking her to go away. She's got her ear and her eye on me. Go on. Go on. Good girl. Now she's cantering. Take it through. Take it through. It's lovely collected canter. Come on, keep going. Now, I wouldn't have done this that long ago because it was a lot of strain on her little bad feet. But she's obviously feeling great, hence all the reactions. And this is down to now the reaction I got this week. Get on, get on, get on. Go on, good girl, good girl. And she swung back into me. I was just a bit too late to get back. So I now get to the shoulder and I push her out. Good girl. And she's done it again, so I'm a bit slow. You're a tinker, aren't you? I'm not going to react to you. I ain't going to get too close that you kick me. Go on. Trot. Trot. Good girl. Good girl. Keep to the shoulder. You're still going to do the work, mate. You might not want to do this. I keep to the shoulder and you should be able to control the pony, in theory. I want to push her out a bit, go out, so I'm letting out the lunge line. And trot. Come on. Come on, she doesn't like the noise of the whip. Good girl. Good girl. And neither, if I'm honest, Right, she's done it again. So what I'm going to do now is just concentrate on her for a bit and stop perhaps talking. Walk on, walk on, walk on, walk on, walk on, walk on. Don't let her get and be in charge of me, which is basically what I'm trying to get her to do. Go on, go on, go on. Good girl. That's nice. Good girl. Keep that going. Don't run. Don't run. Trot. Good girl. So I'm keeping an eye on the ear, which is on me, and the eye, and just making sure I keep at the shoulder. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Good girl. Good girl. That's very nice. I want her to listen, but not to take the mickey. So I want her to self-carriage. So I've given her a little bit more rein now. I've got a nice outside rein. Go on. Go on. Forward. 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 Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Keep going. Go on. Go on. Go on. Go on. So by doing this in the field, even though it's not the field that she plays in, which is really important, go on. I'm taking her up and down the little mounds and stuff that we've got. It just means don't. Okay, that was my fault. And forward. Forward. She's probably getting a bit tired, but that's no excuse. Go on. Forward. It's getting a bit hot now as well. Go on. Go on. Go on. Come on. Lunging does take it out of your ponies, which is why so many people lunge before they ride. And whoa. Walk. Walk. Indie walk. Woohoo. Good girl. And stand. And she stood out there in the right part. So I'm really pleased with that. That is not a terribly long time, but I'm actually really chuffed with the way she did that. That is like 100% better than yesterday. Where we had lots of bucking broncos. We only had one little bucking bronco there, didn't we? Come on. So what I wanted, come on. We'll untack you now. Come on. Come on, good girl. So I'm taking her back up to the stables. I'll untack her. What I did do is I really wanted to tack her up and lunge her in her tack rather than a roller, because obviously the bucking has only happened under saddle, and we know the saddle fits because obviously we've had it checked, and obviously I'm obsessed as well, so I've been double checking the fit since that's happened, because obviously she got very fit, and I just wanted to make sure that everything was right, and everything is tickety-boo on that side of things. I've booked to have Ken Skinner. People call them the backman, but he's not backman. He looks after the skeletal side of your pony, and he is just flippin' awesome. And he has helped me with Indy this last 2 years. And last 2 times he came, he can't quite believe that it's the same pony because she was doing so well. So I am very keen that we keep coming regularly. Originally it was every 8 weeks, I think it was, and then we've gone down, and he's now said to me the last time that I spoke to him, he just said, you know, if there's any difference in her behaviour or you don't feel quite right, if not, it's every 3 months I need to come and see her, which is just awesome. I'm really lucky that I've got surrounded by professionals that don't think of the money but think of the horse, and I think that comes with age and experience, because obviously you have that basic client list built up, so you don't have to rush around and say to people they need doing every 6 weeks, when in case they probably don't need doing every 6 weeks. I mean, obviously some horses do, but I tend to, as I said, very lucky to be able to have Ken. And just recently, are you rubbing your head on me? You shouldn't do that, it's a bit rude. One of my friends, she said to me that she had had Ken recommended to her for, I'm just going to, what I'm doing is I've just untacked her. Move back, good girl. And again, good girl. He'd been recommended to help her with her horse's pelvis, and he sorted that all out for her, so that was amazing, and she's really happy. Over you go, good girl. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to put Indy's, she's not keen to let go of that little bit of hay. You think she had nothing to eat? I mean, honestly. I'm just putting her head collar on because she's turned out at the moment in her little paddock, and I had to move it because she kept getting out. And she got out without a muzzle on, and I was like, oh my God, in the grass, stuffing her face, which is why I think I had a bit of problems the other day. Too much grass. Grass is really growing at the moment. So I moved the fencing around her because she's learnt that if she runs at the electric fencing, if she rushes at it, she only gets one zap and it's worth it for the grass. So you're kind of on a bit of a low, hiding to nothing now. That was your muzzle. But anyway, so she's been wearing her muzzle 24/7 because I did bring her in, but to be honest, it's so much better for them to be out. It cuts down my work as well, I have to be honest. Just looking at my saddle and where it shuts in looks like. That's interesting. I had another look at that. It is better for them to be out, and they're moving all the time. I know they're eating as well, but with the muzzle that is obviously restricted. But they're moving, which can only be good, and that's more natural, even though they've got a muzzle on. So I was really keen to do that. What I'm doing now is, because she's had the muzzle on, it's rubbed her a little bit, and what I thought, I came up with an idea that if I use, this is what I'm doing now, if I used some vet wrap, all horse people know what vet wrap is, so it's self-sticking bandaging that basically we tend to wrap ourselves up in as well when we've hurt ourselves. I know when Indy kicked me, Laura wrapped the vet wrap all round it to stick my arm together, which worked brilliantly, and also A&E were really impressed with that when I got there. So what I thought I'd do is, if I wrap this around the head collar, she's got a safety head collar on because it has to be on to hold the muzzle. If I wrap this around where it's actually rubbing, it should stop it in theory. So that's my idea. We'll see if it works. It's not rubbing her a lot, and it's only rubbing her now because her coat is changing. And as I said before, that's all down to the fact that the days are getting shorter, which is quite sad. And their coat changes with the amount of daylight hours rather than just on the whether the weather is changing. And obviously we've had rain and misty moons and horrible, and now it's warm again, and it looks like next week is going to be very warm as well, and so we need to be ready for that. So I've done this. Obviously I've got sheepskin on the top of this, and I had a gel pad on the alternative one that I use, but I just thought as a temporary measure this just might work. Anyway, we'll see what happens. I'm sure Indy will let me know. Anyway, she did really well there. I'm really chuffed with that. Probably going to try and lunge her every time before I ride her as well. That was another suggestion of Laura's, that we could just do that as well. So just put the end of that back in there. Just put everything away, as you can hear. Yeah. Indy is munching away, and I'm just putting all the rest of it back in. My tack box outside my stables that Dean made me. I had an old coal bunker, a plastic coal bunker, and I have to tell you, it's brilliant. It's just the right. You can get so much stuff in it. Anyway, I'm now just brushing Indy off. Before we had the fated trip to do our 3-day event, Indy's mane was lovely and long on one bit, but because I'd got her in a 3/4 neck rug last year, it rubbed it, and it just wasn't that great, and so we pulled her mane. And I quite liked her long blonde locks that she had. Oh, ears back, as only a mare can do. She's not happy. But I'm just ignoring her now. I feel it is the best policy. So I'm going back to my old ways of just ignoring her. What Laura says, just ignore her. Get on with it. Keep brushing her. She can pull the faces. It's not like I picked her feet out and she was like pulling really horrid faces, and she picked her foot up and she bent to collapse on it, on the other leg. And I just went, well, if you fall over, it's your own fault, because, you know, you're not a baby. All I'm doing is asking you to pick your feet up. So she immediately realised that I meant it. And, oh, lo and behold, she put her leg where it should be. So that was all right. I'm just getting, because it's sunny and Indy has a white face, I've got some Factor 50 sun cream, children's sun cream on it. So what I do is I put it into my hand and I just, oh, she hates it. Just put it on her nose. But she realises once it's on that it doesn't, otherwise she gets a burnt nose. Oh, and it's so sad. And a little, because she's got such a white muzzle. And there she goes. But initially she puts her head up and then she goes, oh, I realise what you're doing, so that's all right. You just have to stay with it. Right, so now what I'm going to do, as you can see it, I'm going to put her muzzle back on, turn her out and finish poo picking the rest of the field. I've done the bottom half of my field. I've done Laura's, because Laura had to work last night. Hey, good girl. You're not that hungry. It's amazing how strong ponies are. Hey. That's it, you've got a mouthful. She's very good at putting her muzzle on though, I have to say. She just accepts it. She's ever so good. There, see? That was easy, wasn't it? That should be... Yeah, I think that's going to work, Ind. Anyway, we've brushed her down. Still a bit muddy. I've sprayed her with fly repellent because it is, the sun's suddenly come out. Come on, Gorge. Gorgeous girl, come on. And yeah, she seems quite happy. So walking past, the other two are like, keep away from me, Mum. We don't want to do any work. I think I've missed the... All I'll do is I'll ride Iki later on this afternoon, as it's Friday. I had hoped in the next couple of weeks, there's a little dressage competition locally that I thought I'd quite like to go to, but I don't know if we're ready for that yet. We'll have to see. I'd like to take her out somewhere where we're not competing, just to see how she's going to go. But we'll see. Oh, you want a drink? Yeah, I'm so thirsty. You made me work so flipping hard. Yeah, you want peppermint? I haven't given you a peppermint or a treat or anything for ages. But then you hadn't really deserved it, have you? Yeah, sugar-free peppermint. Got it? Yeah. There you go. Sugar-free polos, aren't they amazing things? Just letting her have a drink before she comes in. Can't find, I don't know how she's lost her fly mask, but she has. Come on, in you come. I've got to take this off now. Yeah, go on. Don't look at me like that. It's not very friendly, is it? Go on, off you go. Why have a mare? It's really bad. Mares get such a bad name. And until I'd had Indy, I'd not really got a bad-tempered mare. I got a difficult mare to catch in Eek. But I always thought people made it up about how mares put their ears back all the time and grumpy. They're not, though. I mean, she really can be. She can be a right old grumpy mare. But sometimes you have to think, is there any reason? I mean, she's been a lot less grumpy since we've been sorting her out, and she's been having a bit more fun, and she's out of pain. That makes a big difference. But so sometimes you do have to think about it, and rather than just go, oh, it's a mare. She is quite grumpy though, compared to Eek and Tia. I mean, Eek, you never know when she's coming into season or anything like that. She's exactly the same every day. Right. So what I'm going to do now, I've still got my riding hat on. Obviously, I lunge in a riding hat and gloves. I know a lot of people don't bother, but I saw a friend get kicked in the head by a horse, and she was never the same again. So I always lunge in a riding hat because accidents happen. Right, obviously you've heard me muck out loads of poop it loads of times, so and there's her fly mask, so I can put that on. I'm just walking down the field to get into her section. Obviously it's all connected. I've got to buy some more electric fencing, tape, and I also need to buy some more electric fence posts. We buy the metal posts with the plastic connectors on them because they have stood up to the horses much better, and also the height of them. If I can put 3 strands of electric tape on connected, and I can take it out. That takes Indy stop jumping out. That's when she started to run at it. Obviously in the winter, when they've got a coat on, a bit different, isn't it? Indy's following me. I think she wants her face mask, so I'm just going to pick it up from where it is. The flies are horrendous today. Put the electric fencing back because it's not on yet. Obviously, because I'm. Where are you going? Right, put this back on her. Wait. Oi. Oh, you grumpy thing. All right, well, don't have it on. I'm not going to chase her around the field. She wants to come to me, and she's coming back to me now. So she does want her fly mask on. See, it's all about decisions, Pony. Whereas beforehand, I would have chased her down and put a fly mask on until I've got hold of her and put a fly mask on. Now my thing is, you want your fly mask on, you come back to me. Good girl, good girl. You're a pretty little girl, aren't you? Anyway, so she seems quite chilled. Yeah, that's good. What I'd like her to do now is to see her roll, which she does do, but she's generally, after I've brought her back and put her into a field, it's great seeing the horse roll over. When they've been exercised, it just shows how healthy they are. Eek always rolls 3 times and Indy rolls twice. There was a saying, an old wise tale, that a really good horse rolls 3 times and then gets back up. I just think Eekie just likes rolling, but she's a good horse. So my plan for her is to ride Eekie later. hopefully ride Indy later as well. But just take Iki out through the woods, and then during the weekend take her on one long ride, take Iki out if Laura can, but obviously I won't ride out if Lucy's riding with Laura. I'll see if I can just do a lesson, because that's not fair on Lucy, because I can't guarantee that Indy's going to behave, and I would hate it if my pony caused problem out hacking and it upset Lucy's pony, because they get on so well, and little Lucy is doing so well with her pony. It's just joy to see, and she's such a good rider, and that is all down to how Laura teaches her. So I kind of hope that it'll rub off and that eventually I will become a more elegant rider, but you never know. Elegant and efficient, I think. Effective, that's what I really want. I want those marks on that dressage page when it says effectiveness of rider to give me an 8. I love that. Yeah, in my dreams. Anyway, I'm the Happy Hacker, and thank you for listening to my podcast, and I will speak to you all next week.